Greetings, Doublebotch here. Welcome back to another episode of the Lodestar News Network for the months of October and November. Let's take a concise look at the month's notable player events and happenings. First up, October, which is a fairly dry month for politics. The devs have stated that upcoming patches will be introducing both auction houses and economic reforms to the game. The plan is to shift things into a supply and demand style economy, with prices being dynamically set on everything based on what's being bought and sold throughout the game. In other patch news, the devs state that griefing and damages caused by social engineering will not be tolerated in their game. While everyone expected the griefing restriction to exist, their stance on social engineering is a new one that starkly contrasts to similar games like Dual Universe, whose devs have stated that anything goes regarding espionage and inciting. Starbase devs state that the idea is to protect new players and PvE players. This has caused murmurs throughout the PvP community as they identify ways that this will limit the ability to wage traditional full-scale wars. In the fine print, the devs do state that the larger factions may be left out of this or that they can opt out. Whether larger factions will choose to waive developer protection against espionage remains to be seen. Devs mention they aren't sure how they will implement the restrictions against espionage. They do go on to describe acts that would be defined as griefing and war crimes when perpetrated against most players in the game, but would be allowable in faction versus faction warfare. The devs do not elaborate further on how the difference would be delineated or how to prevent exploitation of the anti-espionage rules. Many players are eager to see how the devs tackle this problem in order to swiftly adapt to their strategy and avoid punitive measures. Moving on to the month of November, things heated up this month when the Collective, one of the two founder groups of Lodestar, seceded to form a new organization known as Substrate. At the time of this secession, multiple groups followed suit. The group already had multiple documents ready and surprised the rest of Lodestar with a sudden departure. The secession appears to be a pre-orchestrated event lacking any diplomatic communication to the remaining half of Lodestar. Collective stated they were leaving because their membership in Lodestar had become a conflict of interest. They felt they were at a disadvantage in the Archon votes due to the other two Archons being more militant than they preferred. Collective also cited concerns that the other Archons could bring past conflicts from other games into Starbase. Collective went on in their document to state that in this new group, Collective would hold total power, with an advisory council under them composed of former Sentinels who left with them. One Sentinel who chose this time to leave Lodestar due to lack of conflict in the current game was approached by Substrate's leader Archduke with the proposition of them joining. However, when pressed regarding the power hierarchy of the new group, Archduke stated the only way for groups to survive and act quickly is to pass total executive powers to Collective in order to allow them to run things efficiently. This, of course, was unacceptable to them and they declined to join. This former Sentinel went on to state to Lodestar that they may return once the game is further in development, but no longer have a need for allies at this stage of the game. Many of those who seceded explained that they believe Lodestar's ideals had changed when they first joined. Regardless of no major changes having been pushed through, they felt their voices weren't being heard. This confused many who remained with Lodestar and also those who've gone solo. At this point, those remaining in Lodestar decided to reform into a more inclusive voting system, allowing votes for all levels, doing away with Sentinels, and making all remaining and future new members Archons themselves upon joining. Currently, the reformations are still in progress. So far, Lodestar has decided to change voting to be bracketed by size, and also additional votes off of specialization and effort. This is intended to allow smaller groups who contribute above their weight class to be competitive with larger groups and to diminish the power of inactive large groups in the interest of fairness. Members have also gone on record stating they will be reversing their ban on joining economic worker unions and similar trade-based groups to further push their change to increase personal freedoms and ability. As the dust settles on the political scene, we are left with two lesser halves of the original towering whole. One who is reforming to be fair for all, both big and small, and one who has moved to full autocracy. In other news, the K-Bots claim the world's first in stations. Congratulations from us at LNN to Kenator and his organization. Substrate begun their attempts to try building their own station. However, community member Quevin has been on the prowl piracy-wise, and multiple ships have been claimed by him, including those carrying essential cargo. Many members of the community are fine with this piracy, while others consider the piracy rampant and a detriment to the game's development. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. That's all we have for this video. Stay tuned and be sure to subscribe for more Starbase related political updates, as well as updates for other various space games. See you next time. Doublebotch out.